Greetings, it's Ian from RTO here. It's Saturday, which means Richard's joined me. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Ian. Good to be on again.
How's the weather? We have to do the weather check.
I wonder how it is. It's a nice, crisp, autumnal morning again.
Yes, we might let on what that's all about. Anyway, yes, it's nice and crisp here as well. Anyway, today we've got, remember the other week we did the 1970 number ones in the USA. Today we're going to do the 1980s. And we're not going any further, are we? Because
no, absolutely not.
So no one go asking. We have made an executive decision. So today we're going to do the 1980s. So Richard goes first, I go second, bubbling unders, and then that's it. So off you go, Richard.
Okay, well, my number 10, and it's from 1985, and it got to number 1 for 2 weeks, and it got to number 4 in the UK. It's a slow song. It is a ballad. It's slushy, but I love it, and it's Phil Collins' One More Night. It is by far, for me, the best song of No Jacket Required. I think it's just an absolutely gorgeous ballad. I bought the single whenever it came out. I just love it. I think it's one of his best, and it gets my number 10.
That's not a bad song. It's not. Sounds a lot better live, but yeah, it's a good choice. There's nothing wrong with that one. Well, my number 10 comes from 1981. Now, it was at number 1 for 9 weeks in America, but it was 4 and 5, and the song in between then it was Stars on 45.
The Beatles one. Well, hey.
Yeah. So, but we're talking about Betty Davis' Eyes and Kim Carnes, the raspy voice.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yes, it is a great song. It's been used that many times in ads over here, as you know, but it's still a really good track. And to be honest with you, I don't know any other Kim Carnes song apart from that.
I don't.
But that wasn't her song either. It was cover version, wasn't it? Somebody else did the original.
I can't remember who did the original, but it's a great version.
Okay, well, my number 9. I got to number 1 for 2 weeks in 1981. I got to number 7 here. It's a disco classic. It's a dance floor classic. It will get you on the dance floor. And it's Kool and the Gang, Celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm a bit of a Kool and the Gang fan. I know whenever they first started off in the very late 60s, they were more like a funk band. Now, in the 70s, or the 80s, whenever they had their success, they were like a disco-y pop band, and I thought they were brilliant. And Celebration, absolutely excellent song. And it's my number 9.
I like that song as well. I think it's something to do with our childhood. Growing up. Okay, my number 9. You're going to like this one. It was number 1 for 1 week in 1985. Only got to number 7 here. It's by Simple Minds, and it's from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So You Forget About Me. One of my favourite songs by Simple Minds. I love it because Mel Gaynor's drumming on it is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And the girl they've got now, is it Cerise Sosi? Big shoes to fill, Mel Gaynor, and she does a great job when they do it live now. It's just one of the great Simple Minds songs. It's a great one to join in to sing with. It's just a brilliant song.
That is cover version as well. And do you know who it was offered to first? And he refused it. Brian Ferry.
I bet he's kicking.
He didn't like it, so that's why he didn't take it. But yeah, it's a really good track. I never put it in though, because I still prefer like the Speed Your Love to Me and Up in the Catwalks. I think there was a couple before that. I still prefer them, but it's still a good track, and it was played constantly in the local nightclubs as well at that time and for a long time after. Well, my number 8, I'm not too sure if you like or not. I know you like the band, but I don't know if you like the track from 1985. 3 weeks at number 1, got to number 4 here, and it is Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. I think it's a great track. It's got a really good riff on it, I will admit that the LP version, the longer version, is better because it goes on for longer, and I just think it's a really good track. And I love Sting's intro as well. I want my MTV, and then that guitar riff comes in. I think it's brilliant, and it's my number 8. Money for nothing.
And guess what my number 8 is?
You are joking.
I am not joking. So, by the matter of technology, the cover now is flying across the screen with my clever editing. Yeah, you've said it all. It's just a great fun. I love that bit where Mark sort of laughs in the.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was planned, but it was kept in. It is a great song. It's got that iconic riff. And I think there's only one time I think they sang it live, and that was at Live Aid, together. I don't think they ever did do it. It's a great song.
I love it. Oh, so that's me again. So my number 7, and I think this is a song that I think it might have actually be cancelled now, in this day and age.
Yeah.
And it's from 1986, 4 weeks at number 1, number 3 in the UK, and it's the Bangles, Walk Like an Egyptian, which I think was really good fun. It really is. And the story about that is the drummer, Debbie Peterson, who sang the lead vocals on Going Down to Liverpool, she was really annoyed because every other member of the band gets a verse, but whoever was producing at the time wouldn't let her sing. And I think she was a bit miffed over it because she wanted to have a verse as well, so they would all have a verse. But I think it's really catchy. There's a good wee shuffle to it as well. And Susanna Hoffs, it's absolutely gorgeous in the video. So Walk Like an Egyptian, my number 7.
I just missed out. I haven't put it in. I'm glad you did. I love the song. Yeah, I love the album it came off, A Different Light. It's a great album. And the video to that is huge fun.
Yeah, brilliant.
And Debbie's got a great voice.
Actually, I think she mimes it in the video, but she's not singing. So there you go.
Great choice. Great choice. My number 7 is from 1980. Probably, to me, one of the great disco tracks. And you got to number 2 here. And it's Funky Town, Lip Sync. What can you say about this great disco record, except it's brilliant?
It is fantastic. So you can get the wee thing moving across again because that's my number 6.
You're giving so much work to do this week in editing.
Yes, it's my number 6. It's absolutely brilliant. So it is. I love the vocoder, the voice as well. It's just fun. It's really good fun. And there was a band in the late 80s, and I can't remember the name of them. They also had a big hit with it as well, but it wasn't as good as the lip sync version. I can't remember the name of them, but yeah, fantastic track. And again, a disco classic.
Yeah, I just look like ding 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 ding. I think that's great. Anyway, it's my number. This is getting confusing. We said we're never going to be the same, but they are. This could be as well. Number 6, 1 week in 1989. Only got to number 5 here. She Drives Me Crazy. The Fine Young Cannibals.
Yeah, fantastic track. Fantastic. It's. I'm not going to say too much about it. Put it that way.
It's just that. And then Roland's, what a voice! You don't expect that, do you, on that track? You see, it's deep, gritty. No, you get this high pitch. But I love that song, always have, and I think it'll be one of my favourite songs of the 80s forever.
I love it as well. His voice is so unique. I guarantee you do not have my number 5, though. You do not. I'll be so shocked if you do. It got to number 1 for 1 week in 1987. Only got to number 6 here, but I love it. And it's another ballad song, and it's like a soul ballad. And it's a guy called Gregory Abbott and Shake You Down. I absolutely adore that track. Again, I bought it whenever it came out. I remember, it must have been a few years ago, I was out for a meal, and they played it in the restaurant. and I couldn't remember who sang it. And I was driving me mad who actually sang it. I actually owned it. I just couldn't remember, and I finally got it, and I thought, I've actually got that single. And love it, absolutely love it. I don't know if you know it, but beautiful song.
No, I
So
don't
that's
know that one. That
shit.
doesn't happen very often either. It's a song that I don't know. And obviously,
You
I don't
know,
know that one. I will listen to it later, though. Anyway, my number 5 from 1982. Number 3 here in the UK. Spent 6 weeks at number 1 in America. From the J. Giles Band, Centerfold.
you know. Do, 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 do.
Now, I love that song, but I think people say, "Oh, I like J. Giles Band," and they say, "What's your favourite song?" And they go, "Centerfold." And you go, yeah, they had great songs before that.
Yeah, that was not very representative of their music, though. I believe they were almost a different type of band before that came out. That was just pure catchiness. Because I
Yeah,
think
they were a blues band. They're a great blues band. Magic Dick.
The follow up, I think, was a track called Freeze Frame, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember it. Remember it well. So where are we at? Number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4, 1983, 6 weeks at number 1. Got to number 2 here. And it's a female singer, and she actually got to number 1 in the UK in 1982 with a track called Fame. But this is Irene Cara's Flashdance, and I absolutely love it. And I love the video. I love the chair and the shower scene with the water going over. Absolutely brilliant. Takes me back to 17 years old. You were 16, coming on 17 now, whenever that was out. And yeah, deserved to get to number 1. Should have been number 1 over here as well. So Flashdance, Irene Cara is my number 4.
Is that the song that's, I can't remember, it's featured in the Full Monty, and Mark Addy says, "She ain't going to well much with that mixture."
It might well be. I have never actually seen the Full Monty, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's when she's doing the bit of welding. He said something about a mixture wrong, nothing's going to hold. Absolutely brilliant, that line. Yeah, great choice. I prefer it to Fame.
Yeah,
I love that keyboard at the beginning. Absolutely brilliant. It's a great choice. Okay, my number 4. Where were we? 1980. It didn't even get in the top 10 here. Number 14. Spent 2 weeks at the top. For Billy Joel, It's Only Rock and Roll to Me. I love that. I love the lyrics. It's like an old boy trying to make it, I think he's taking the mickey out of himself. And I love that. Absolutely brilliant song. One of my favourite songs by Billy Joel.
Yeah, I can remember when Uptown Girl got into the charts on top of the pops. They're saying, and this is Billy Joel's first hit since It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, way back in 1980, which was only 3 years, but in those days it was a long time. Great song, really good wee rock and roll number. Good album, by the way, Glass Houses. You should play it.
Yes. I do like that album.
Well, my number 3 is from 1982, and I got to number 1 for 1 week. And it didn't get in the top 10 here either, and got to number 12. And it's the theme from Chariots of Fire by Vangelis. Now, before we go on, I hear a lot of people saying Vangelis. Is it Vangelis or Vangelis? I always thought Vangelis. But it's an absolutely beautiful piece of music, really is. And I absolutely love it, really do. And even whenever seeing Mr. Bean do it in the 2012 Olympics, I thought was hilarious. So it did, because he had the wee instrument to do. Brilliant stuff. But absolutely love it, and it's my number 3.
Yeah, I mean, I love Vangelis. Can't pronounce his full name, but Dave can. He rolls off his not anything. But I love how he got everything right in the film when they're doing that slow motion running. It is a beautiful piece of music. I totally agree with that. Okay, my number 3. We're going to beef it up a bit now. This is from 1982 again. 6 weeks at the top in America. number 4 here, written by Alan Merrill of the Arrows, performed by an ex-Runaway, and it's Joan Jett's I love that.
Oh, I love it as well.
It's very brilliant. Good. I mean, when I went to see Meatloaf, when he introduced, because Alan Merrill was in Meatloaf's touring band at the time, he says, on guitars, Mr. I Love Rock and Roll, Alan Merrill. He wrote some great songs in the Arrows, but that's got to be one of his greatest. And I think Joan did a great version of it.
I think that was only a B-side for the Arrows as well.
Yes, it was. It only made a B-side.
I've heard it. It's not as good as Joan Jett's.
No, she really beefed it up, didn't she?
And to be honest with you, I do actually quite like Britney Spears' version, but it's not as good as Joan Jett's either.
No.
So well, my number 2, and I got to 6 weeks of number 1 in 1983, and only number 2 here. It's Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson and Say, Say, Say. Now, I think it's one of the best produced records ever, and it's got one of the best videos ever with the medicine show going, or the fake medicine, whatever you call that.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really good track, and even Michael Jackson's performance in it, I think, is brilliant as well. And it's not a Michael Jackson song, it's a Paul McCartney song, because it does have that Paul McCartney catchiness to it. And why it didn't get to number 1 over here, I'm not too sure what kept it off. It's probably something like Uptown Girl or something like that, or Red Red Wine. But still, Say, 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 absolutely brilliant track from Pipes of Peace, and that's my number 2.
Yeah, I loved it, to the fact that I brought the 12-inch single of it.
Yeah.
So I've got the extended version, and that's fantastic. Yeah, I love that track. I think it's one of the best duos that Paul McCartney ever did.
Yeah.
The video is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. The word I was thinking was snake oil. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Snake oil, the fake medicine.
Yeah. Okay, my number 2. Got to number 5 here. Spent 1 week at number 1 in 1986. It's Robert Palmer, Addicted to Love.
Mm-hmm.
The video is just cool.
Yes.
And that song's just Robert Palmer all over, and it's just got that suave sophistication of Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
It's just got a great intro.
Yeah.
It's just a great song.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, that sort of sound, because it is very 80s, and I love the way Shania Twain sort of turned that video on its head, and for Man I Feel Like a Woman, which I think was a really good response, a good respectful response as well. It wasn't a dig at Robert Palmer, but yeah, it's a good track and deserved to be a huge hit. I didn't know it actually got to number 1 in the States. I must have missed it. Well, my number 1, and you've already mentioned it, from 1989, and that's She Drives Me Crazy. Only one week at number 1, number 5 in the UK, but it is absolutely brilliant. And yes, it is completely riddled with the so-called crappy 80s sound, but I don't care. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's from a brilliant album as well, The Raw and the Cooked. So Fine Young Cannibals Drives Me Crazy. It's one of my all-time favourite number 1s anywhere in the US. We've got into a mixed 70s and 80s one, no problem. And yeah, my number 1.
Yeah, it is a great song. It's from a great album as well. Okay, my number 1, you've sort of mentioned it in it because it sounds like another song. My number 2, it's Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Got to number 4 here. 1 week at number 1. Guess what? It knocked off number 1 in America.
What year was it? 1986.
87.
Oh, 87. Robert Palmer. No.
You seem to have that invisible touch. That awful poppy.
Right.
So Peter Gabriel knocked his whole band off number 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to Peter Gabriel. Brilliant song, brilliant video, just brilliant.
Yeah. The video is very good now. In those days, the video jukebox was a big thing in local pubs. And I was fed up watching that video. Everybody put that video on. It just got annoying after a while. Now, granted, I haven't seen the video for a long time, so I'm sure I would enjoy it this time around.
Yeah,
But seeing
it was over
every
here as well. Or every time you'd walk in, there was one of my other pubs I used to go, and every time I walked in, it was on. So I remember saying to the bustler, "Can you unplug this?" He says, "Yeah, you get peed off with it. How do you think we feel?"
I know.
But it was good, and we won loads of awards. So we did match quite a few times.
We did. I have 3 bubbling unders. I don't know. I don't think you'll have them. The first one, 1981, for 2 weeks, and I got to number 5 here, and it's Blondie's Rapture. Now, it's a track I didn't like at the time, but over time, I've got to actually love that song, and I even do like the wee rap bit that's in it. I'm not a rap fan, so it's really the first time I heard rap as such, and then Adam Ant's, what you call it, Ant rap. But I think it's a really good track. The instrumentation of it is really excellent, and I guess one of my bubbling unders. The next one is also from 1981, and this spent a huge 10 weeks at number 1. Number 7 here, and it's Olivia John's Physical, which I think is great, and I do love the video for that as well. It is very dated in look. The video is a bit it's quite funny actually, with the big fellas, and then they all turn into muscle men and all the rest of it. Really good fun. And 1989 for 3 weeks, and you'll definitely not have this. It's Paula Abdul and Straight Up. Number 3 here. I just always like the song. I like the bit of it. Just simple little things like that there that make me like the song, and I bought the single as well whenever it came out. So those are my 3 bubbling unders.
Yeah, the Rapture. I do like Rapture as well. It's pretty good. Olivia Newton-John is just brilliant, and Paula Abdul is all right. I'm not a great fan of.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not a fan, but I love that.
You like that record?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 5, so I beat you this week on bubbling unders. My first one's from 1983. 1 week at number 1 in America, number 3 here. And it's Toto's Africa.
Good song.
Great song. Great drumming on that. And I just love that song. It's one of the best songs I ever did. My second one, it got in my 70s top 10 last time round, but it's been demoted to the bubbly numbers, and that's from 1982 again. Again, it was split. It got 2 weeks and got split. Split by Chicago's Hard to Say I'm Sorry. But it's Steve Miller's Abracadabra.
Right, okay, yeah. No bad song.
One of the Chicago songs that I'm not keen on. Number 2 here in the UK. My next one is from one of my favourite prog bands ever, Yes.
Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Yes. 2 weeks at number 1 in America, but this is how the British think to it, number 28.
Be honest with you, the British are right. I don't like it. Never have.
I don't mind it, but over here we want to listen to Close to the Edge, not this poppy version of Yes. My next one, 1984, 5 weeks at number 1, number 7 here, and it's the Van Halen song that goes doo, 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 Jump.
I like it. I have nothing against that.
I've got nothing against that. I prefer Hot for Teacher, but it was a quirky song, and to get to number 7 in the UK was brilliant at the time. Yeah. We got a Van Halen in the top 10, and the last one, which is a bit of a curveball for me, 1981. Got to number 5 here, 2 weeks in America at number 1. Toy Soldiers, Marquita.
I remember that, I think.
It's a lovely song.
I think I remember that. I'll have to look that one up because I can't remember what it goes like, but it rings a bell.
Toy soldiers. That's my best impression.
I have no idea what it is.
No, I'd never be good on the Never Mind the Bus Cops when they have to do the songs.
Oh dear God!
I reckon we should do that on a live stream one week.
Oh God! So, but that was fun. I enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed that more than the 70s one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, once again, thank you very much, Richard. I think we know what we're doing next time, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
We're doing something on the Beatles, but not the Beatles.
Yeah, the Beatles, but not the Beatles.
Yes. Not. So all it leaves me to say is thank you very much, Richard. We always have fun doing these. So it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him. Goodbye.
Bye.